Hola. The name is Kendo. And if you know anything about me, you know I love making fun of people. So I heard that Cyrax, aka Chance, is now on the FBI watch list, and I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I told you so. I told you so. Every single person he talks to is um a freaking buddy troll, and they're actually intending on him going to prison for his crimes of talking to children. But Dillon is next.
I hope that soda kills you, Kendo.
Okay. Okay. That's very nice. Anyway, so let's talk about. Hi, my name is FullMetalKendo, and I am currently. What am I doing? I'm on Amazon. I actually just filed my taxes. To be honest with you, I actually just filed my tax return, and if the feds don't take away all my tax return, I will, or even take any of it away, I'll probably get some money back. I'm looking at like almost $3,000, tax return. Be pretty good, to be fair with you. It'll be pretty good. I'm planning, if they don't take it, on getting one of these. I know you're like,
Why don't you save your money, Kendo?
I am gonna save most of it at least. I'm gonna save most of it, but this is what I'm getting. Hold on, hold on. We're on Amazon. Hello, Nintendo Switch 2. I'm so excited because I want to play the Switch 2. I want to play the Switch 2 and all the games and what have you. Hold on. What the fuck? Okay. Where's the regular bundle? Motherfucker. Oh, there it is. Regular bundle, Switch 2. Here it is. This is $4.49. I'm not gonna buy on Amazon though because see, the thing is, there's too many crackheads in this fucking apartment complex. I mean, look at this. This is a package I received today. Pants. Tons of pants. There's a hole in here. I think someone ripped a hole in to see if it was anything valuable that they could sell for drugs. They're like, oh my god, no, it's pants. I'm not stealing that. It's not worth anything. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go to probably Target. Probably gonna go to Target. Sam, get down. Just get down, boy. Let's go to Target right now. Nintendo Switch 2. Okay. Here it is. Here it fucking is. Nintendo Switch 2. It's great. Fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. It's available for pickup. I usually go to Target because number one, Target is actually a little bit cleaner than Walmart or I could go to Best Buy, but you know, 'cause Best Buy is actually a little bit easier to get to. But to be honest with you, um, yeah, I think I might do Target. To be honest, unless the Target sells out of all of them, in which case I'll just go to Best Buy. I'll just be like, okay, I'm going to Best Buy. If not, I could go to Walmart. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to Walmart. And why don't I do shipping? I already told you I'm not gonna have this shipped. Because someone will take a look at it and be like, oh, it's valuable. I'm gonna sell it for drugs. Someone in this fucking building. I hate the people in this building half the time. Fucking scumbags. I have to rush home to freaking pick up packages, or I have to message a friend of mine and tell him, hey, grab my package for me. So, Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm looking forward to the Switch too.
Wow, I get to play Breath of the Wild in 4K finally on my TV. Because I have my Switch OLED, and the Switch OLED, by the way, will only play in 1080p. Looking forward to 4K. Let's take a look at this video. Yeah, I like the new Joy-Cons, to be honest with you. The new Joy-Cons are pretty cool. 7.9 inch. So it's basically about as big as an iPad mini, one of the first iPad minis. Yeah, so there you go. Speaking of which, iPad mini 2026. Oh no, 2026 rumors. Uh, Speaking of which, iPad mini. Oh my god. Maybe I'll buy one of those. And I wanted to buy I want to buy a new computer, but the fact of the matter is, I probably won't because problem. Um, yeah, the problem is that the drug addicts in this fucking building will fucking ruin it for me. Ruin. I'll ruin you, motherfuckers. They will ruin it for me. So, got to get something a little smaller. If I'm think, I was thinking about maybe an iPad, but let me take a look at Apple.com because that would have Apple.com. Uh-huh. 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 Hello, guys. iPad Pro. Let's take a look at the iPad Pro. Ooh, what kind of iPad Pros do we have? Okay, so obviously we want the 11. Silver. I like silver, to be honest with you. They only have two colors. If they had a gold option, I would choose that in a heartbeat. I don't really care for the $2,000 for no. We could do better than that. Look at this. Anode texture glass for $16.99. Okay. Wi-Fi, of course, Wi-Fi because I do have a tablet that's connected to my internet. That's Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Mobile. I do have a Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus. But it's not. It can't really do what an iPad can do, right? I don't want any engraving. I don't like engravings, to be honest. Do I want the Apple Pencil, or do you want the Apple Pencil Pro? I say no Apple Pencil. It's useless to me. I'm just getting it as a sort of computer thing. Add Magic Keyboard for iPad Pro. Hey, Magic Keyboard. No, $299. No, hell no. You basically, you know, no trade in. $16.99 plus tax.
Oh my god, plus tax. Oh my god, it's so fucking expensive. Ah!
Hey, if I get my tax return completely unhindered, I might get one. Either that or I could just buy, hold on. Let's go back to iPad. Let's go back to Apple. Either that or I'll get a MacBook Air. I kind of want a computer, but at this point I'll settle for anything, you know? So we have this, hold on. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look, see.
So if you want 32, wow, the bare minimum for this one is 24 gigabytes. That's crazy. So 32, definitely. 2 terabytes of storage. What if we did 24, just the base 24 gigabyte? Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. So we're looking at $23.99. A little bit more, but I know how to save, guys. I paid my rent, full rent, $707. Crazy, right? I know. You're thinking, wow, Kendo, you must really be an entrepreneur for saving money. I have $30 in a savings account somewhere that I don't touch. I could easily send money if I had to, but I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to make every dime I get, try to save. Not every dime, right? But most of them. My birthday is this week. I'm not getting anything for my birthday. Fuck. Holy shit. I did buy a lot of muffins recently. Some pretty good muffins. Everybody loves the muffins. But as you can see, it's a pretty nice computer. And the only reason I'm thinking about getting a laptop is because if I wanted to get a new computer, there's only two ways I'm gonna get a new gaming PC. Either I'm gonna pick up at Best Buy and have it be a bitch to bring it fucking home, because you have to. I'm gonna take the bus and I don't have a ride, or or you just get a or you just have it shipped, in which case you have one of the drug addicts in this fucking building who try to steal it. So I'm good with that. Maybe when I move, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's take a look. See, it's a pretty nice looking computer though. 15-inch, pretty impressive. I'm taking a look at the Epic Game Store right now. Why? Because I want to know if obviously I have my Epic rewards balance. Yeah. All right. Any games on sale? I doubt it. I doubt it, to be honest with you. Lords of the Fallen 2. Wishlist now? I want to wishlist that shit. I have the very first game, Lords of the Fallen, the 2014 one, not the reboot. Um, I have $5 in. You can't see this, but I have like $5 in Epic Rewards. I'm gonna see what games are available for purchase. Ooh, wait, I already own that. I already own that too. Jesus Christ. Uh. Now, hmm, hold on. Let's see. Add to cart. I want to see something. If I what happens? How much would it be if I 843? I probably don't have enough. Right? Fuck. Wait. Remove. All right. One game I ended up buying today was on the Switch. The only game I bought today was on a Switch game, and that was Borderlands: The Handsome Collection because it is on Switch. It's pretty good, because it's Borderlands, but I don't really actively play Borderlands. I'm more of a Destiny player at this point because I've been playing Destiny off and on the last the last 2 weeks. So I definitely like Destiny, but I do want to get back into playing Borderlands a lot more. All right, let's take a look. Holy shit, Moken's League. Okay. I like to go through the free games that they have and just add them to my cart and then eventually just get them all because, free game is a free game. I don't care if it's permanently free, Zombie clown trap. Hmm. If they made an ice simulator game where you play as an ice agent and went ahead and the goal of the game was to not be a fucking dick, I think that would sell very well. No, political run world leaders. That's funny. You have Donald Trump, Kim Jong Un, and fucking Vladimir Putin. La 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 la. Oh, I did buy Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Because I love Star Wars, and to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to the Fate of the Old Republic. Hold on, wait 1 second. I don't get John John. He's fucking. He's like really stupid, and to be honest with you, he's just a grifter. I mean, everyone's a grifter, right? Even I'm a grifter. Technically, we're all grifters at the end of the day. We're just grifting. It's kind of weird, to be honest with you. It's bug snacks. Woo! Talk about bug snacks. I gotta play this game again. I liked Bug Snacks, to be honest with you. It's made by the guys who they what game did they do? They did what's that octopus game? Octodad, Deadliest Catch. You know, pretty decent game. But Bug Snacks, I have 3 achievements on the Epic store for Bug Snacks. One game I am gonna be playing eventually here is well, I'm gonna try to play Death Stranding on PC at some point. 'Cause I'm playing on Xbox, but I want to watch Tomb Raider now. Uh, isn't it funny how Cyrax is literally sitting there and he's like, "Oh well, Hi, I want to get John in trouble for cyberbullying and William Glory Hole here for cyberbullying. And yeah, he's being investigated by the FBI. Yeah, you're next, Dylan. By the way, I know because I know why you got removed from Discord, Dylan. Guess what? You got removed from Discord, Dylan, because you're uploading shit you shouldn't be uploading to anybody. You're sending pictures of things you should not be watching or looking at. Guess what, Dylan? There are consequences. And one of those consequences is the FBI is going to come to your house and take you down. Trust me. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, woe to the FBI. Woe to the FBI. Just like that. Just like that. Saying, woe to the Union. Yeah, I'm probably not getting a new computer anytime soon. Maybe I'll just save the money. To be honest with you, just save the money and just wait until I am out of this place and I could save. Actually, get the new computer. Lara Croft is. Hold on. Kittens. I'm watching on my TV because kitten doing biscuits. Kitten's fighting. The kitten is trying to get its own tail. I miss when my cats were kittens. Why is Sam staring at me? Look at him. He's staring at me right now. Oh, and there's the bitch. Hey, bitch. You staring at me too? Hey, that was these guys. They got a bath earlier. I gave my cats a bath earlier. A friend of mine was like, "I recommend you give your cats a bath." I'm like, "Okay." I did. I'll give them another bath next week, next Wednesday. Goodbye. Oh, look at that kitten. They're just fighting. It's crazy. Yeah, and they're all retarded like their father. Oops, did I say that? Well, too late. And unlike his dad, he might not be a pedophile. And Eric looks like a pedophile. Barron, the most stupid of the freaking Trump family. Literally, he couldn't get into Harvard. He couldn't get into freaking. Hey, I'm just letting you guys know. No, guys, he couldn't get into Harvard. He couldn't get into what's that other really talented school in New York. He couldn't get into that school. He couldn't get into several schools that he couldn't get into, and that's why Trump has his little. "Ooh, I gotta go after these colleges for making for not admitting my son." Ooh. It's like, come on, bro. You're serious? Come on, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And by the way, that person who yelled pedophile protector, congrats to you, bro. I would have called him a fucking pedophile to his face. No, not to his face, because you can't really go near the president. Not to his face, but I would have yelled pedophile and watch him go like, yeah. Would have been funny. Next time, don't call him a pedophile protector. Call him what he actually is: pedophile of the United States. Here comes the pedophile of the United States. Anyway, so what's Chance doing right now? God, I'm bored. This is a Cyrex stream. Actually, just this Chance. But what is Chance actually doing? Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Who am I gonna watch? Who am I gonna give a shout out to? Not that I care about the Cyrex community. They're all grifters at the end of the day. They're all cucks. But who would I watch and not feel bad about watching? We're not gonna watch that guy Matthew, and he knows who I'm talking about. We're not gonna watch Matthew.
Who's Matthew?
I can tell you who Matthew is because I know because the motherfucker tried to hack me at one point a few years ago, and I know exactly which state he lives in. I know where you live, bro. It's over. No wonder he doesn't mention me in any of this fucking posts anymore. Anyway, um, uh, N-word boy. It's. I mean, hmm. I want recent stuff though. Mm, all right. Let's watch Cyrex Homeless Saga is imminent.
You don't not here. You ain't living in my shoes. You know, I just don't get where y'all think that making people homeless is funny. Couldn't be homeless, my ass.
Uh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Chance, but you let's see, you don't have an income. You live with your grandmother, who's like 70 fucking years old. I thought about living with my grandmother for a little bit too. Um, but obviously my sister didn't want to go to the fucking meetings, and my grandmother is staying with my gram, so her not bringing us to the meetings, and I went there twice for the meeting, and Brittany didn't bring Graham. She didn't bring anybody. She didn't bring herself either. So that was not going to happen. But I tell you, I was thinking about it, and after listen, twice is enough for me. Third time, no. Listen, we could have this meeting. We can do the meeting for a new place to live, but after the first two times, I'm done. So I'm just gonna get a new apartment. You know, I'm just gonna get a new apartment. That's what I'm gonna do myself. Anyway, let's continue watching Chance.
Right.
So if
See, the problem is he is gonna be homeless. He is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Chance, but you are. Hold on 1 second. I am seeing if my phone's charged enough. Because I got receipts to upload. Let's see, 16%. Perfect. Perfect. I gotta upload the rest of these receipts on my receipt apps. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. The fuck? Come on, show. Come on. Stop being slow, dude. Hate this phone. I gotta get a new one, but I don't want to spend the money. At least not yet. Pedophile Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a pedophile, just saying. I don't care if I insult any of the conservatives. Hold on. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I just got one more receipt after this. Okay. There we go. Last of the receipts uploaded. Hold on, someone messaged me. Okay, back to the video.
Feels more and more likely that the Cyrax homeless saga will happen at some point in the future. People have been speculating about it for years at this point. When are Ed and Sally finally going to get tired of him and kick him to the curb? Well, it seems more likely that probably one of them is going to have to pass, and it's probably going to have to be Sally because Ed's not going to allow him to stay in the house. Now, I didn't talk about it in my previous Cyrax video, but basically there was this whole big event that occurred that was called the Edstein Files, which was basically, I guess, somebody was communicating with Ed, like texting him and having conversations and getting some info out of him to discuss what really goes on inside the house. And I'm just going to briefly talk about it here. There are other people that have covered it on YouTube that you can go watch to get a more in-depth view. But in particular, it basically talks about how much of a degenerate Cyrax is, where he allegedly has been stealing Sally's underwear to do God knows what with it. At the same time, apparently they have to try and lock him inside of his room because they're afraid he's going to go downstairs and, end them while they're sleeping in the middle of the night. They also won't allow the dog to go inside of his room for obvious reasons. And also it's because, as we've speculated and have seen, his room is just full of disgusting garbage, and that includes him just leaving trash and open cans of food and things like that in his room that get maggots and stuff and cause the dog in the past to actually get sick. So that's pretty epic. And, sort of a funny side one is also people have been speculating about the sludge that Cyrax consumes. And now there's back and forth about who Ed actually thinks might be taking some of his pills. And the common understanding to me is that people still think that Sally is probably putting it in Cyrax's food to try and chill him out. And they're also afraid that he might go downstairs and take it himself. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, we found out that basically he's forced to eat like really soft foods because I guess he can't, kind of like when Cobes was still around, he can't really consume hot or cold items. He needs like weird mush that he can just chomp down into his gullet. And that includes things like, fruit cans, like peaches and stuff like that, or like beans and like ravioli. Like that's the type of food that he can eat. He's like living a hobo lifestyle up inside in the attic while also just terrorizing the people who are living below him. So that's just like a really brief, quick synopsis. This happened probably like a month ago at this point when this video comes out, but I thought it was pertinent because it sort of, it's still Ed's point of view, but it sort of leads credence to what a lot of people were believing, because Sally is always just on Chance's side regardless, but he's starting to get afraid because there's more and more evidence coming out that Chance has been a nefarious, horrible person and has been doing child enthusiast like things on different platforms for years. There's a lot of stuff that has come out, screenshots of former accounts, everything like that. And I think Chance feels like the walls are closing in because at some point, who knows what's going to happen? Is Sally going to pass away? Ed's not going to let him stay there. Are the police finally going to come bust down the door and take his hard drive away? Who really knows? But he's in self-preservation mode at this point.
You guys are just so stupid. See, what you guys don't realize, I know about the drone shit y'all are trying to do. There are laws against what you are doing. Flying over private property, dropping paint on someone's house, that's a crime.
So he's stating out the obvious, and I guess drones, they might or might not still be occurring on a kind of regular basis. I remember in the past, obviously, there were paint buckets being dropped on his roof, and there were people that were using it as surveillance over Chance's house, and he's clarifying these things like, whoa, that's wrong and illegal, guys. You can't do that. The police will come and charge you once I figure you out. And he just sort of goes down the same trope that we've always expected from him. He keeps doing the same song and dance of, actually, guys, I got connections, I got skills, I got people on my side who are going to come out and destroy you and get rid of all you trolls. You can't be doing stuff like this anymore. I need to be able to pursue my music career online. I know I'm locked up inside my room because my parents are petrified of letting me have free reign roaming around the house. Who knows what I could possibly do? But don't worry, Chance has his own resolution. He's going to go out on his own like a vigilante, and he's going to perform justice one way or another.
You fly a drone over my house, I have every right to shoot it down. I am going to rip it apart. I am going to take the SD card out and take everything out of the drone that
He's gonna run and hide.
is useful for me. So guess what? It don't matter how fast your drone is. I know how to pick that bitch out the sky. And I'm going to hand it over to the police, and I'm going to make an example out of you.
How are you able to track people through an SD card? I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, how are you able to track somebody using a fucking SD card? I've never heard of you being able to track somebody with an SD card unless it has like personally identifying like information. But if you sit there and you have this SD card and it has nothing on it other than like the images of or the video of it like dumping paint on your house, you kind of don't have a case, right?
And if you don't think I'm going to, well then, that's your fault.
So he goes into a much longer diatribe talking about his military expertise, growing up in a military family, and how much of an expert he is. His eyes look in two different directions, so I'm not really sure how accurate you could possibly be at lining that up and taking the drone out of the sky. He's also afraid to even go outside, and as I've reiterated multiple times at this point, he's locked inside his room. He's not allowed to leave. He's trapped up there. So, hey, you know, maybe he'll peek out the window with his Red Ryder BB gun and, you know, take it down, baby. Who knows? That's the bravado that Chance has sort of been, you know, puffing his chest with over recently, because obviously he's done it a million times in the past where he'll talk about something that the trolls are doing, and then he'll say, I have tactics in order to get rid of this, and obviously he doesn't follow through with anything because he's incapable. Obviously it's not a lack of willpower. He just literally cannot do it. He has no connections, he has no money, he has nothing to bring some solace into his life. So instead, he'll resort to sitting in the darkness and crying, complaining to the audience and talking about how mean they are and how they keep setting him up for these awful screenshots that are occurring of him allegedly talking to other underage people on anime forums in the past.
The reason why you destroyed my Xbox and my PC was so that I can't talk to kids. But we all know the real truth, William. You wanted to destroy my console and my PC both for one reason. Because I wasn't paying attention to what you were doing.
No, I think at this point we all know that it's because Chance talks to kids, and he talks, you know, to children, and it's not cool, Chance. You shouldn't be talking to kids. I told you, look, I told you back in the day, look, if you're actually talking to kids, right, you should probably stop that, because this is why a lot of times they go after you, but you don't want to listen. And you ignore and, you know, ban or block everybody who tells you not to talk to kids. Especially if you're quote unquote friends with them, or if you know, you're acting like a child predator.
I wasn't giving you the attention you were seeking.
So with these new screenshots sort of coming out, Cyrax obviously trying to deflect, trying to avoid actually acknowledging anything that has been brought to light. He'll just say, you guys are just jealous. You know, you're jealous of success. You don't want me to be able to make a living out here. You just are hateful, spiteful people. No, I think most people are going to turn on habitual child enthusiast behavior and somebody that is just downright, as I've said, nefarious and just sick, just gross. Like, nobody wants to prop up a lifestyle like that. And if destroying your electronics by sending you things in the mail that you oh so blindly and stupidly just plug in on repeat, well, maybe that's the way that people are going to have to go. And it sounds like some things in the background are moving. Now, I haven't really kept up with Cyrex, to be 100% honest, frequently over the past like 6-8 months, something like.
Yeah, I keep up with it only rarely. You know, I hear things because I have people in that like sphere who watch that shit, and they always tell me, "Hey, you hear about Chance? He's wanted by the FBI," and I'm just like, I guess he's wanted by the FBI. I don't know. The FBI are looking into him for threats, which is what they looked into Daniel Larson for. Be aware, Cyrex. You're next. The FBI is gonna come knocking on your door, maybe. I don't know, but literally, like, see, the thing is, you gotta look into that shit. You know, gotta look into that shit.
Oh my god, the FBI are gonna go after Cyrex. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be awesome. Awesome, guys. I love when the FBI goes after Cyrex. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm busy waiting on my tax return. Which, I mean, I just filed. I won't get my federal until February. I'll get my state probably sooner than February, maybe early February or something. I don't know. Last year it came and like that's if I get the tax return. I owe the feds money for. I used to get Social Security. People are like, "Oh, you're on Social Security." No, I got off of Social Security, and apparently the feds, aka the Social Security Administration, is saying I owe like $29,000 and some shit. And I'm like, I don't have $29,000, and if I did, I wouldn't pay you it. I would literally save it in a bank account, and see, if I had $29,000, I'm saving that shit. I'm not paying it back. If they want it, they're gonna have to look. As I've said before, but then again, I don't trust the Trump administration to like be able to figure out how they're gonna freaking get the money anyway. To be honest with you, I think a lot of the people are incompetent, so they're gonna fuck up in some way, and either I'm not gonna get my federal, or I'm not expecting that my state's gonna go, but if my state goes too, um, hey, it is what it is, you know. At least I got my at least I have a return this year, but Lord knows I'm probably not gonna get a return next year. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I filed at the very least, you know, and I do know that eventually I'm gonna have quite a bit of money because I'm, you know, I'm say also I also have a 401k. So there was one time I had like what was it 6 grand, something like that in like 401k, but I withdrew all of it because I was, be honest with you, I'm probably never retiring unless I like get a career on YouTube, you know, or social media. I'm probably never retiring.
That ever since the Alex Tafini thing, I kind of just haven't paid attention. But there's a lot of new figures on the scene. I mean, people have been able to bring Cyrex back on panels and have him rage and freak out too. So, like, there's some developments going on there, and it seems like there's some things moving in the background that we'll see if they come to fruition. But Chance is clearly petrified of what could come.
I want nothing to do with you. I am not paying you any more attention. I'm not responding to you no matter what you do. I'm not fucking coming on your panels. I'm not giving you motherfuckers the time of day. I am not associated with you. I want nothing to do with your community at all. And just remember in 10 years' time, when you guys ain't even...
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking. Wait, can you hear me? Hold on. What the fuck is going on? Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh God! Don't tell me I'm muted. Am I muted? Hold on. Let's see. Full- Okay. I gotta figure out what's going on. Blah 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 blah. Hello. Oh God. I gotta. Now I'm curious. I don't know if the audio is going. Hello. Hello. Okay, it is working. Never mind. I scared myself. I'm sorry that I scared myself.
Even a blip in my rearview mirror, just remember that when you guys are trying to figure out how you're going to get me again, you're not going to be able to. Because I'm done with you.
And obviously, this is only followed up by him going on panels and talking to other people. He's doing like an interview thing recently with what sounded like AI. Not really sure if that's true, but he's trying to exonerate himself. He's trying to differentiate himself. And he keeps talking about this mythical career that he obviously doesn't have. I mean, in the past, there were much more funny events that you could sort of poke fun at and point to, like the record label things and stuff like that. But nowadays, it's just utterly pathetic and embarrassing for a 40-year-old man such as himself to be doing things like that. It just is like it's just mind-boggling. And obviously nothing gets through his thick skull unless it's talking to underage guys online and trying to fulfill some sick fantasy that he has inside of his head. But you're the problem, trolls. It's all your fault. It's none of his fault. It's all yours.
You're not, like, we're not gonna stop until you're homeless. You're going to jail. First off, I'm not going to jail. Y'all want me homeless. Well, I'm sorry to fucking break it to you. I'm not going to be homeless. Okay? If anything, I am trying to get away from you so I can do better for myself. I'm trying to move on from my mistake. I don't know where the fuck y'all think you have the right to try to make me homeless, but it ain't gonna happen.
It'll happen at some point, obviously, unless he somehow passes away before Sally does. Who really knows the intricacies of going on inside that dwelling? Obviously, if he's just eating weird slop and leaving open cans and open wounds all over his body, maybe it takes him out. Who really knows? Obviously, his physique is getting much worse. His face is becoming much more Hills Have Eyesy. Obviously, that's been a comparison that people have had for a long time, but I feel like his like skull is getting stretched or something. I don't know how to describe it. And the bags and the skin is getting much more loose and is laying much more awkwardly on his body. And he just can't quite understand why people want to see him go homeless. And I think it's mostly derived from the fact that he is absolutely horrified at the idea that he would be vulnerable in public. He can hide up inside of his attic for now, but if he ends up on the streets, obviously with his record, I mean, criminal and otherwise, he's not going to be able to go and stay in like a shared living homeless shelter or something like that. They're going to kick him out. There's a lot of strict rules related to that. And if people figure out where he's at, he's not going to be there for a day. So he's going to end up having to be on the streets. And that's going to make him really vulnerable. And he is just pissing his pants thinking about that. And speaking of pissing his pants, it made me remember, apparently in the Epstein files, there's an accusation that anytime that he uses the bathroom, he just like does not have any aim or care or whatever, and is just blowing up the bathroom with piss everywhere. It's just all over the place. Who really knows what's going on? But let's recenter, let's refocus. Maybe he can try and build an interesting case. Try and defend yourself, Cyrex. You've tried to do it for over a decade. Now's your time to shine.
Whole thing about waiting out my mom and making me homeless, y'all need to fuck off with that shit. I don't know where you get all thinking you guys have the right to try to make me homeless, but it's not gonna work. Every little fucking post you make against me, I'm gonna report it. Oh, we're gonna make you homeless. No, you're not. That ain't gonna happen. The time of the trolling era is over. It's done.
And once again, he'll just go down the tried and true method of, whoa, 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 trolls, your time is over. No more. And it's kind of interesting. I saw somebody post about it recently talking about how there's just this like ecosystem where people can build full-time careers off of some weird goblin guy who lives in his attic and screams at the camera. And that is pretty interesting. And it's not just him, obviously, there's a whole slew of them. And even me, you know, when I used to talk about Cyrix a lot more, it's like, yeah, you know, that helps kickstart some things. He's a very notorious figure who thinks that he has a lot more sway with everything, or that he is somehow intimidating to people. Everybody just points and laughs. Nobody's sitting here like, whoa, buddy, you're gonna report my channel? He's tried to do this with millions of people in the past. He tries to do that. He tries to take videos down, and he has a very, very low success rate. And obviously, like, if you don't understand how the like background of like YouTube's reporting system really works, it's basically if you become like a known false copyright striker or something like that, YouTube basically doesn't take any credence with anything that you say. It's also at the same time, if you're like a really small nobody that has like 10 subscribers, like Chance's personal channels probably are, then you reporting a larger channel that has thousands of subscribers, they're not going to take the report as seriously unless there's a big brigade. And Chance does not have support, obviously, at the back of him. He literally has nobody in his corner anymore. He's left on his own. He's crying, complaining, and he's just he's coming to the realization that his his weird slop, you know, sludged empire might be coming to an end.
And even if you did try to somehow or other get me locked up, the police can't touch me. They won't touch me because they know damn well I have a fucking lawsuit against them. And they know this.
You sure about that?
Which is why I am a god on the internet. I am your god.
So if you recall, if you watched the Alex Tafini documentary thing that I made a couple months back, this is exactly what Alex was saying. He thought he was immune from the police because he tried to file lawsuits against them that went nowhere and usually got dismissed, or he actually lost. So yeah, that's what Chance is also claiming he's going to do. I have lawsuits out there. Pull up the case number, buddy. Show me who's your lawyer, who filed these documents for you. Is it ChatGPT? Maybe he has his own little journal on his computer where he's like, I'm gonna do this thing. ChatGPT, fill it in for me. And he thinks, oh, well, they got it. The police department knows what I'm going after. It's just the soup for brain over here is just painful to try and understand a coherent argument at this point.
Hello, this message is for the New York Police Department. You guys have a good day. And hopefully together we can bring down the right bad guys.
So I'm gonna veto actually analyzing this video. I just think the premise of it is hilarious. He like essentially is making this defense cover thing for some other chomo person that he's hanging out with or something, and he's gonna send a video to the New York Police Department. Where are you gonna email him and say, hey, check out this link on my Facebook, go check it out, guys, come on, you need to let him go. You don't understand, these horrible people are coming after us, so you just don't get it anymore. And that's why, you know, Cyrix needs somebody like Tibbs to be in his corner, and that whole relationship broke down well over a year ago at this point. So it's just like, man, what is he gonna do? He's just gonna sit here in darkness and keep crying, complaining, and talking about how he has methods and he's gonna find a way to take down the trolls. And at this point, it's getting sad, but it's also going to be quite cheerful once it actually comes to fruition.
This message is for the dude that keeps trying to offer me a job. First of all, I just want to say that I appreciate the offer, but personally, I'm not interested. That you need to work your ass.
Buddy, working a regular job for people like you or like me, I'm not saying you would be like, I don't think you're anywhere close to me, but look, listen, I work because I have to work, right? It's not like, so YouTube is sort of an experiment for me right now, you know, trying to figure out how to best go about making a career out of YouTube. But while I'm trying to figure that out, I'm kind of at the point where I need to work, and I do work. and I work very well, and I'm actually going to work tomorrow. Yay! But see, the thing is, you need to make some sort of income. But Cyrex, you make no income, and you're also known as a pedophile on YouTube. So it's going to be very hard for you to get any sort of employment or income or whatever. And denying jobs that are clearly offered to you, even if I think they might be fake, um, I think is a terrible, terrible idea. Where is my wallet? Oh, it's right over there. Okay, but I just paid rent. I just paid rent today, and let me tell you, it's I I don't like doing it because I like saving my money. I like making money, and I don't like spending it. At least nowadays, I don't like spending money. But let me tell you, I did pay my rent because I have to pay rent. And unfortunately, when it comes to Cyrax, aka Chance Wilkins, I don't think he's going to be able to pay rent because he doesn't have an income. He doesn't have an income. Okay, he doesn't have one. It's going to be very difficult for him out in the real world, especially when he becomes homeless. He's going to be like, "Oh, I don't want to I don't want to get a job. Why am I being thrown out? Please, Karen." Anyway.
Ass off from the ground up with 0 handouts. I'm sorry, but I don't do handouts. I don't do charity work.
So
Charity work? Is that what you're calling work? It's not a charity. You're making money to survive on a day-to-day basis. That's what work is. You think I like going to work, Chance? You think I like working? I don't like working. I don't like. It's not like I hate working. I just would rather not do it. And for some people might be like, you should have stayed on Social Security, Kendo. I didn't want to stay on Social Security. You're limited when you're on Social Security to make money, and plus you can't even be your own payee, or at least they wouldn't let me. So I was like, I'm gonna cut my losses and just move on. That's what I did. And now I'm making. Well, I'm not making bank yet, but I'm starting a savings. I'm starting to save. It's a process, though. Actually, I got an appointment next week with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to try to get my permit again. So eventually, I would like to get a car, but the thing is, you gotta have money. Gotta save money. And if I'm gonna be moving pretty soon, I am gonna need to save as much money as I can. That's what I'm gonna need to do.
this is really rich from Chance. Obviously, let's just make it clear from the beginning. No, somebody that is offering him a job online is not actually offering him a job. It's
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect if you get a job offer online, and it's not from a actual real life person, some fuck on YouTube. I would imagine it'd be a troll. I remember someone tried messaging, texting me over the phone, and they're like, "Hey, is this Brandon? I got a job offer for you over at Wendy's." I guess they wanted me to quit my job at McDonald's at the time and go work at Wendy's. But I was like, "How did you get this number?" And they're like, "LinkedIn." I'm like, I don't put my phone number in LinkedIn." So I was very confused. Obviously, I didn't. I just said, "Look, the guy, not interested. See ya." You know.
just some troll out there or whatever. He's very keen at figuring that out because this has happened in the past. When I first started covering Cyrus years ago, there was an event like this as well, and I'm pretty sure Marty was even bringing it up that, hey, I have connections for you to go work in construction or something like that. Why don't you go do that now? And that's probably not real either, but this whole premise,
Yeah.
Chance is very on board, but he's not gonna tarnish his career. He's not interested in working a job. Well, Chance, you're gonna have to figure this out pretty soon because once you're on the streets and you have to figure out how am I gonna get my next sludge bomb? How am I gonna get the next can of ravioli, Chef Boyardee, baby? How am I gonna do that? Well, you're gonna have to hustle a little bit, and being 4 feet tall and looking like the way you do and having the tendencies to do things online like you have, it's going to make it difficult for you. So maybe you should just start taking all the trash that you have inside your room and start trying to sell it for memorabilia. Set up on the front lawn, come on down, $1, $2, come on, fans. It's probably not going to end well for you. Maybe you can have Ed or Sally or somebody set it up for you, and you can look out with binoculars inside your window and see what's going on, but it's not going to go very well.
I got fortunate enough to where I did end up becoming a rock star. I did end up signing.
A little bit of an update. Apparently, there's a couple of places to eat close to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that I'm going to be going to next week. So, hey, you know, I have my appointment. I might after that appointment, I might end up going over to get something to eat. I don't know. There's a couple places. Let's see. There's Portland Pie. Portland Pie sounds good. They have pizza, if you're wondering. Everyone knows that. But where's that Dunkin'? I thought there was a Dunkin', but apparently it's not there. Apparently there was Dunkin', but I don't see where the Dunkin' was. Oh, Dunkin', right there. Hold on. Oh, there's an Irving? Hold on. Okay, so there's an Irving. Hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. No, okay, car wash. Okay, so the car wash plate's right near there. There's Dunkin'. And I guess this is an Irving. Irving. Okay, there's a gas station. Great. I just don't like I just don't like having an appointment in another town, especially when I get hungry. And there needs to be, if I'm going anywhere, there needs to be a place, a restaurant, or some shit that is right next to the fucking place that I'm going, so I can fucking eat if I want to, especially on payday.
With a major label for a while, I did end up doing some really cool fucking shit that I am beyond proud of. Because right now I am this fucking close from making my dreams happen, and I'm not about to let that shit slip away.
What the fuck do you mean? You're this close, like, but Chance, you don't make any money. You don't have an income. I'm sorry, bro. You don't have an income. And the thing is, I might not make any money on YouTube. I'm not even infamous like you are, but point is, I don't make money on YouTube, and guess what? I need an income. I need to make money. And right before, like, I needed to make a lot of money last year, but I ended up making enough, and I got a scholarship for what I needed it for. I needed to, pay for my last semester of college, and I ended up doing that. And I have my diploma. I've shown my diploma on my community tab, but I got my bachelor's degree. But my point here being, Chance, is that if you want to make anything a reality, you need to make money. And unfortunately speaking, everyone makes money but you, you know?
He's actually this delusional. I mean, we should have come to expect this at this point in Chance's life, that he actually thinks he was some mega rock star guy. We've all listened to him. We've all seen things. Everything that has ever been related in his entire life is fake and falsified. I mean, maybe back in high school and stuff like that, before he really started to gain some prominence online, you could say there's some authenticity in some things. But even back then, all this stuff that he's ever done is stolen and fake and whatever. He's never had a record deal. He's never released anything. He's never actually made anything on his own. It's all just trash, garbage, nothingness. But I think the delusions help play into making people feel justified that, yeah, there's no other outcome. We're going down one road and there's no exits anywhere for the next 1,000 miles. You know where the story is going to lead, and it's going to lead right back into the troll's arms.
You're probably wondering, why am I alive when there's all this evidence against me and blah, blah, blah. And I have information that you guys don't want to have put out there.
So this talk is obviously about these new screenshots that have come out from the farms and other people that have been digging up some of Cyrex's past and even current activities that he's partaking in. And he's horrified and petrified and terrified and all the ides because he knows that it's happening, man. The people, ever since Marty's passing, people have been much more determined in trying to punish and destroy him, justifiably so. And this also is sort of getting wrapped up into that. He thinks that he is going to be able to find an out and find a way to navigate around these trolls, and he keeps calling out the usual suspects, but it's not going to go anywhere. And he knows the walls are closing in. We'll see how long the timeline actually is for this to actually come to fruition and what really is going on in the background in the shadows. But that's the update I have for today. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
So I'm here to Eric.
Hold on. Scheduled for 11:14, 10:30. Okay, that's not too long from now. Hold on. But we're not gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that myself when it's up. I wanted to watch a little bit of Tomb Raider. Hold on.
It's been years. But the events are still etched in my memory. Lost worlds. Frozen in time.
First of all, Lara is so gorgeous in this freaking game. Drop
New
dead gorgeous.
discoveries.
She's gorgeous in every other game, but I mean here.
Waiting behind every door. Across every chasm. I didn't know then the path this adventure would send me on. But it lit a fire that still burns. I need to see more. I need to go further. To uncover the secrets of Atlantis. Some legends are destined to be retold.
Alright, that's gonna be it for me.